Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Siri never fucking listens to me. Do you know the annoying thing about Siri is that, like, it will never listen to me when I need to speak to it, but when I don't want it to talk, like in a Zoom call, like a business Zoom call, someone will say something and Siri will be like, sorry, Georgie, I didn't catch that. The definition of expeditus is, and I'm like, you're sentient. You're definitely sentient and fucking with me. Okay. I just vomited, so my throat feels very itchy and I don't feel that great. I feel actually quite triggered. I feel triggered. I'm not supposed to be vomiting now. It's like 5 months into the pregnancy. So the morning sickness should have really gone. And also, I just feel dirty and I never know what to wear. I hate that. Whenever I look in my closet, I'm like, I hate everything. So I haven't really planned. Sorry. Again. This is the itchy throat. I haven't really planned the general topic. What am I going to talk about? I think I'm going to talk about ADHD, autism, and over honesty. But I keep picking my nose. What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I saying? Oh yeah, I had this idea to do a podcast for a while. I don't know how loud I'm talking into this, but I'm also aware that I don't want my in-laws to hear me. But the reason why I decided to do it today was because I woke up wanting to do it. Number one, I wanted to do it. And number two, the astrology app I had said, make your life up as you go. And that was just exactly what I needed to hear to come outside and record. So I'm making it up as I go, which is, to be honest, kind of the only way I operate and the only way I want to operate. So, I'm sorry I keep like touching my hair. I just have a bit of a tick. So yesterday, I should start with yesterday. Yesterday, a friend had told me to write a letter to my baby because her baby's 3 months old, and she said, oh, it'd be a good idea for you to like write a letter to baby Blue. And I had done it in the start when I first found out I was pregnant, but I love writing. I'm a writer, and I thought that was a great idea. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do a series. I started really kind of taking the idea and running with it. I thought I'm going to do a series of letters and then make an exhibition. It stopped being about my baby and just about me and my artistic practice, as always. I was like, oh yeah, fuck, that's amazing. Maybe I can make a book. Anyway, they're all just ideas anyway. I'll never end up doing anything with it, like the billions of ideas I have. What I'm trying to say is I wrote this letter, right? I wrote the letter. And, in my mind, genius. The most heartfelt, beautiful message ever. I often write and then read back my writing later on, and I was hysterically sobbing in the bed. I was so moved by myself. I move myself beyond words. I move myself to tears all the time. Whenever I read my writing, I'm crying, So I thought, wow, I've written something truly profound, truly beautiful, and I can't wait to share this with my husband. He's going to cry too. I've never seen him cry, but, this will make him cry because it's just so touching. It's so sentimental, la 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 la. So it's late. It's like 10:30, last night, and he just wanted to go to bed. He's had a full day at work. He's been doing his own creative pursuits, and he's just kind of like knackered. He doesn't want to hear my writing, and I always pick the wrong times to read to him, and I always tell him it's going to be short, but my writing is never short. They really are books. So I said, Simi, I want to read to you the letter that I wrote to our baby. And kind of backed him into a corner. He had no choice. I read it to him. And I think after reading it, I realized I probably am autistic. It's like I don't have the awareness when it's just me, but when I'm reading it to someone else and they comment on certain things, I think that's when I kind of see myself in a different way. it was very honest for a baby, probably a little too honest, a little too dark. I was talking about the fact that she's coming to a sick, dying society, and that there will be times where she loses all hope, and that I nearly lost all hope, and the darkness almost swallowed me up. And a lot of this journey on earth is suffering, and it's a pilgrimage, and it was a little heavy, a little dense for, a baby or a 2-year-old. But, the way I think is like, well, you need to be honest with her. And, the most important thing is that she's prepared for how fucking sick and sad this journey is, But there's beautiful moments along the way, of course, don't get me wrong. And I definitely was mentioning all that. But I think Sim was just a little shocked at my choice of words. And it made me realize I'm probably a little different to the average person writing a letter to their baby. It was a bit too honest, you know. What else did I say? Yeah, I said I almost gave up. The darkness almost swallowed me up. My body was aching for years. Just stuff that's probably not that, just in due time. But that's just how I am. I want to be honest with my child, and I actually think I'm going to really struggle just not being honest. Like, whenever she asks me any question, like, I have a real hard time lying. And it got me thinking about when I was 8 years old and I asked my dad, what happens when we die? And I kind of wish I didn't, because it was quite a graphic moment. He sat me down and he said, he kind of had this look in his eyes, probably similar look to how I get. It's like, wild animal, like, there's no turning back. And he said that when we die, we decompose, we go to the ground, bugs eat us, maggots eat us, and our whole body decomposes, and that's it. There's nothing else. It's just science. So I think I know where I get my autism from, but I never really took it seriously because again, I have ADHD, so I don't really look into things. But I always thought that you couldn't be autistic if you were really emotionally intelligent, which I pride myself on being very empathetic and very observant and very aware of people's emotional dispositions. But actually, as ChatGPT was informing me today, is that women with autism can be very emotionally tuned in, and they just don't like lying, and they're overly honest because they don't see the point in playing social games or social norms. They have intense emotional empathy. One example ChatGPT gave was that you can be crying for a snail that's died on the sidewalk, and I just felt so seen because that's me. I get so emotional over things that most people would just see as background filler. Like, when I was 21, I was going to the movies with my mum, and I was about to fly overseas to go to Germany for a year, and this is kind of like our last time hanging out. We were in Darling Harbour and we stopped off at a convenience store so I could probably just get like a block of chocolate or something. Mum wanted to save money and get it somewhere else apart from the cinemas. So I went in and there was a little budgie in a cage, like in a small cage, and this budgie was by itself. I almost had a panic attack. We didn't end up being able to go to the movies because I was so distressed. And I feel bad for the convenience store worker because it probably wasn't his budgie, or like probably the owner just trying to sell this bird. But I just was like shaking and crying, and I called RSPCA, and Mum's like, we got to go see the movie, and I wouldn't leave. Like it just broke me. And RSPCA said that there was nothing they could do. Was a bird injured? No. Were they just selling it? Well, it's legal to do that. And I was so distraught because I couldn't do anything. I felt so powerless. Like, I didn't really have the money to buy this budgie, and I was also going to Germany, so I didn't really know what to do with the budgie. Like, if I'm going to Europe, and Mum wasn't going to take the budgie, but I that was the thing that was so emotionally paralyzing. Was like, I have to leave. I am the budgie's last hope, and I can't save it. So this budgie's going to die, and it's going to be my fault because I couldn't do anything for it. And that rocked me for days. And so reading that ChatGPT sentence, I'm like, fuck, why are doctors so bad sometimes? Like, why does it take them so long to pick up on pretty obvious things? Like, my best friends, if they were sat down and asked, what do you think we should diagnose Georgia with, they would probably hit it on the head straight away. Autism, ADHD, OCD. Whereas I've had about 13 diagnoses from different psychiatrists, and not once have they ever said autism, ADHD, OCD up until 30. That's 12 years in therapy going unrecognized, and it's really not that hard. Like, I really feel like most strangers I interact with like would pick up on it pretty quickly. Like, even the Uber drivers, like, if I think about how intimate and how personal my chats have been with Uber drivers, like, I don't think that's normal. Like, I don't think it's normal to talk about like your sexual history with like maybe disassociating during sex to a Uber driver, or your hospitalizations, or your fear of death and tsunamis and global warming. Like, I don't know. I mean, here and there, I'm sure people do just like let their guard down and share. But it's like, me, it's like a compulsion. It's not even a compulsion. It's just not a choice. Like, if I make friends with you and we get talking and it goes deep, I will tell you everything. There is nothing that is sacred. There is no difference between this shopkeeper at a plant store in Newtown that I've just met and my best friend. Like, I will tell them the exact same stuff. And I always operated as if that was just me, that was just normal. Like, and I've always been entertained when I'm not crying or hitting myself. Like, I have been entertained by who I am, and I'm proud of it. But I never really stopped to think about it in a deeper way. And I think that would have helped me because actually, like, I have had a lot of challenges because of this. I haven't been able to emotionally regulate. And even like recently, this is my first pregnancy and I got pregnant unexpected. I had just come off well, not all, I should say. I came off 3 different medications. I had been on them for the past maybe 5 years. I was on an antipsychotic called olanzapine, Brintalex 10 milligrams. See, this is what I mean. You know what I mean? Brintalex 10 milligrams, 5 ounce 50 milligrams. So what I'm trying to say is I was on a lot of different medications, and I'm also proving my point. And I wanted to get off them. I had no kind of plan to fall pregnant. I just wanted to get off them for my spirituality and for just like feeling ready. I don't want to park spirituality and medication as 2 separate things, because medication really, really helped me. But I was 30. Oh no, wait, no, I wasn't. I'm 32. I I was 32, and I was like, cool, I'm ready. I'm ready to get off this. So I did, and pretty much fell pregnant the next day. Didn't realize, was crying my whole honeymoon. Like, our honeymoon was a disaster. It was really a disaster. Like, I actually think both of us have slight PTSD from our trip. Now, that sounds dramatic, but like, I actually genuinely think we both did for a while, because we couldn't look at any photos after the trip. I still can't. I can't even wear some clothes that I bought there. I guess because I'm extra sensitive being pregnant. But there was like flash floods, like extreme weather. Like, we got extremely sick 80% of the trip. Like, I spent a lot of it either on the toilet or in the medical center. I was crying every day. Well, not every day. I want to give myself credit because I was crying every day in Italy and the other trips. But this one I wasn't. And we actually were still fighting. And I thought it was a bit unfair because it's like I'm not crying every day. Like I'm crying like maybe like every third day, which is a big victory for me. And to be fair, to give myself credit, I was weaning off heavy medication and dealing with being pregnant without realizing. So I really feel like I was doing some rapid healing. But when I got back from Bali, I just got real. When we found out I was pregnant, you know, maybe I was like 7 weeks into being pregnant when I found out, and I was very, very sick for the first 3 months. It was like everything. I was not sleeping. I had terrible rhinitis. It's called pregnancy rhinitis, but this was like next level, like just my nose was just running and burning and sneezing every night. I never slept. I was violently ill every day. I had no energy. I had depression. Like I was pretty close to losing my mind. And I ended up in, I don't even remember the point of my telling you this. I'm trying to kind of gather where I'm going with this. Anyway, I ended up in hospital. I ended up having a nervous breakdown. Pretty at 12 weeks, like 12 weeks being pregnant, and I ended up in the public hospital staying overnight in a mental health ward. And when they talked to me, the psychiatrist team, about like, you know, what's going on and stuff like that, I guess what I was trying to explain to them was like, I find it really hard to regulate my emotions after a certain point. Like, if I'm in overdrive and like I'm already kind of at that point of not coping, once it gets to a certain point, like I cannot control what happens and I hit myself. I'm just kind of trying to speak a little bit quieter because I don't want to be like listened in on. But I hit myself and I act like a child would when they're having a tantrum. Like I can't think straight, you know. I'm grown, like I've done it in public before, like audibly groaned and like hitting myself, and it's like, how do we not pick up on the fact that, you know, that is extreme neurodivergence, probably autism, and you know, maybe that's something to be looked into. So I'm only now realizing that when as therapists ask me things, I can actually tell them, like, do their job for them because they are just really bad at picking up on the fucking obvious. Like, instead, they just want to fucking pummel you with more medication. You know, the whole time they just say, are you suicidal? Are you suicidal? Are you suicidal? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm also autistic. So I'd tell you if I was, because I literally have just given you my whole life portfolio in like 5 minutes, which isn't normal. You know, like that's a thing. Like most people in the ER ward are going to fucking hide all their stuff and be more discreet. But it's like, I've just given you everything, like in an autistic way. In an autistic way. How have you not picked up on that? So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, do better therapists, because there's a lot of us. I don't know if it's, I think it might be different with women and men, but I'm just going to speak from the behalf of women. But there's a lot of us women like kind of going around with these, like with these experiences that we've kind of carried throughout our life and haven't really been given the proper awareness by our medical professionals to explain it a little bit more. And we're here thinking that it's just us and we're faulty, or you know, we're broken, or we have all these other diagnoses to deal with that we don't really relate to. Like, sorry, but I didn't ever really relate to bipolar. Like, I just never had really any. I mean, I can't say never because I definitely did have some episodes that were a little bit questionable, but like, it wasn't bipolar. And, you know, you kind of get branded when you see a psychiatrist, and every other psychiatrist just looks at the same portfolio. But like, it's really a shame because, like, you know, as I said, my best friends and husband could have made a better conclusion about me. And it's not like I was a stranger to some of these therapists. I was seeing them regularly, and the over compulsions to share, like sharing everything with them. Like, come on, do a bit more research on their end. So that's what I've wanted to talk about today. Um, and I'm really excited to free myself from the shackles and chains that have kept me kind of hiding from the world. I think like I just would create so much and just kind of run and disappear and not want to share myself. I think I just always had a big fear, this big push and pull between wanting to share and be recognized for my mind and for my creativity, but then also wanting to disappear and just like not share anything. So I think this year, 2025, for everyone is really like, well, not for everyone, for the ones that choose to live in the heart space and you know, are well intentioned and kind of choose the path of light. I think we're all really connecting with our hearts this year. I really feel like 2025 is the year of the heart chakra, and of course, we see the complete opposite of that in the world stage, and the politics, and you know, so much counteracts that point. But I think the ones who really want to live in the heart space and think about their actions and think about what they want and what they need and are kind of persistent in that, I think, you know, we're going to see a lot of beauty this year for the light, for the people of the light. So let's just free ourselves. Let's liberate ourselves. Let's take those shackles and chains off and just share and be real. And yeah, just give ourselves a chance to connect with the world and our inner child and, you know, free yourself. What I'm trying to say is free yourself. Free yourself. Free yourself from this mind prison, baby, because it's not serving you. And it's not serving the world. And, you know, we all love listening to each other. That's part of service. That's part of connecting with one another. We want to hear each other's thoughts and feelings. So let me give you this chance to free yourself and share. So, yeah, that's me. I don't know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to post this. And then the next step is, am I going to promote this? I bought a book on business and I've read like 5 pages and I look at it every day. And I have like gotten so many people to buy this book. It's like I've like literally shared the book link with like Uber drivers, convenience store workers, like therapists, you know. And I haven't even read it. I'm like 5 pages in and I look at it every day. It's like if you're her biggest advocate, maybe just like give her a chance. So maybe I'll do some of that today. I probably won't, but I'm going to eat. Thank you for letting me record myself, Georgia. Because that's who did it. It's me. So thank you. Dear baby blue, we're living in a sick, sad world. People are dying. The cracks are slipping. This is a pilgrimage. Mama nearly didn't make it. The darkness almost swallowed her up. But you're going to be fine, baby, because I'm going to look after you and you're a brave little warrior. But remember, we're on a pilgrimage here and it can be dark. So buckle up your seatbelt, baby, because you're in for a wild ride. Bye, guys. Love you.